Hello, hello.
Hi,
I'm Chantal.
and I'm Chi-Chi.
We are from the Reality She Prefers podcast.
Mhm.
Welcome. Today we are reviewing The Haunting in the Arctic by C.J. Cooke.
Yep.
I am on a C.J. Cooke bender. I am reading everything and anything that this woman produces or writes, and not produces. Well, I guess the same difference. Yeah, so this is actually, I think, also one that, we had done the Lighthouse Witches.
Mm-hmm.
We recommended it, we read it, and then, if I'm not mistaken, you just bought this book at the library.
I did.
Not the library, at the bookstore.
At the bookstore.
And I was like, okay, cool. And then we never talked about it again.
Yeah.
And then,
No.
like, a month or so later, maybe even longer than that, I got it from the library. I started listening to it. You're like, whoa, hold on a second. Like, I own that book. Why aren't we reading that together?
Yeah.
So here we are discussing it. Yeah.
I bought it because my daughter liked the cover.
It's a very pretty cover.
Yeah.
It's a very pretty cover. So The Haunting in the Arctic. It is about this explorer who goes to the Arctic to document a haunted ship that is stranded, and she runs into other explorers, and with their interaction we get to know the surroundings of the area. We get a more in-depth knowledge of what happens to this this haunted ship, and we discover the ultimate ending of what it means to be a human.
Should we jump right into ratings?
Let's
What do you
just
think?
get it over with.
Okay. What would you give it?
Okay, so I'm gonna give it I think when I initially finished it was like 4, but I'm gonna hover around a 3.5. I think
Really?
maybe a 4. I'm gonna check what my Goodreads review
Wow.
is, but
I actually
Yeah.
give it higher than that. I give it a 4.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I liked the story. I did find, like, it kind of reminded me of a couple of different things. It reminded me of The Sixth Sense a little bit,
Okay.
as well as, and I don't know the movie I'm thinking about,
Yeah.
where they're like trapped in the north and they can't escape.
Okay.
It reminded me of that.
Your question.
Yes.
Are we gonna spoil the book?
I don't know.
Because then that's gonna
I don't know. What do you want to
dictate
do?
how I talk about this book.
I don't know. What do you want to do? I mean, like, typically on this podcast, we spoil a lot. I think there's only been like 1 or 2 podcasts where we haven't spoiled.
You know, it's funny. I think. Do you want to laugh?
Yes.
And I say laugh because while I struggled reading this book because I just, for personal reasons, I was bored through it. I don't think this indicates whether or not the writing is good, because I actually think that narrative wise, this is one of her best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The story itself, I think, was really nice. And the thing about Cooke is that she's more plot driven.
She is, which I really like. That's probably why I
And
like her a lot.
I don't like.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You're all about
Yes,
characters, and I love
do.
plot.
Yeah. I like when it's more character focused. And there has to be some plot, obviously, but when I get into a character and I find that I resonate with the decisions that they made or why they made these decisions, but I don't get that with Cooke. So she kind of throws you into the narrative, and then it takes you through really quickly.
I like it.
And a lot happens in her books.
Yeah.
So if you're into that style of writing, this is the perfect book for you.
I've changed mine to a 4-star. All right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. I think that's fair. So the story itself though is really, really good. In terms, like, we've read The Witches,
Yes. The Nesting.
The Nesting. The Nesting
Which
had
we
a
are gonna
character
discuss.
focus. It's probably the one that had the most character focus.
Yeah.
Do you think
you're right.
so?
100%.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
also, if you think about, I've not read her first book, but I've read the second one. I finished I Know My Name.
Which one is the first book?
I don't know what
Okay.
it's called. I should know, but I don't. I do know the date that I Know My Name was published in, but I'm not going to go there. So that was her second book. And I'm pretty sure The Nesting was the third book.
Oh,
The fourth book is The Ghost Woods. The fifth book is The Haunting. And I can't remember actually. Lighthouse Witches is in there too. So if we're going to go off your character theory that you just mentioned, The Nesting being the third book. So her like almost jumped to Gothic, like it was like her transition, because I Know My Name is not Gothic at all, which was great, by the way. We're not reviewing it, but if you're listening, it was fantastic. Great work. That jump to like little hop. It wasn't even a jump. It's a hop.
Yeah.
Right, to that Gothic. And then we went from The Nesting to like, I don't remember which was next, either The Ghost Woods or The Witches. I can't remember. But that was like full jump.
Okay.
Right? So that's probably why you're like, oh, The Nesting is more character developed because the one before it was very character focused.
Okay.
Very character focused. It was less about plot.
And
it was
I Know My Name.
That's I Know My Name.
I have to pick that up. I have to pick it up. I have to. Yeah, no. So knowing this, it's interesting.
It makes
the
sense. Like her projection of her writing.
Yeah, of her writing, exactly. And she knows what she's into and what audience and the niche. You know, she's sort of crafting this style, and she's really good at it.
She is. I
very good at it.
I agree with that.
It's just not to my liking. Again, not
just over
liking.
We're
not
like
liking.
like
Not to
over
make,
and over again.
Yeah,
like,
taste. Exactly. Exactly. And I
It's
need a bit of a break.
So I feel like there are some people who are like, I like this genre. I'm gonna stay in my lane.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna read anything else because I like it. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then there are others that I agree with you. After I'm done with The Ghostwood, I mean, there's nothing left for me to read until she produces her newest work.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take a break because I just need. I like you.
Yeah.
I want to dabble in a little thing. I want to dabble in this. Like, might even try some romance. Maybe. We'll see. But it almost feels like when you read them, as I am, back to back to back to back, like it's the same story and it's the same
formula.
Yeah, same formula. Yes, that's not what I'm thinking, because I don't mind the formula.
Yeah.
I just mean like you kind of get lost in wait, what story was that? Is this a continuation of the same story? Like you kind of it all kind of blends together versus if you're switching genres and you're switching books.
Got it.
There's never a mess up. Like there's never you getting confused on what was the story about? Was that The Ghost Woods or was it this one? Or was it
right.
You know what I mean? Like you don't ever get, it's not muddied.
Right.
Like your review and your perception of the book isn't muddied by the fact that you just came off of this other one and you just read this one. Again, I really like it. I'm fine to keep reading Cooke, but after I'm done The Ghostwood, which is very long. I'm going to take a break from her. So, not in a bad way, but there's literally nothing else for me to read. So,
yeah. So, want to talk about what worked for you?
I kind of want to do get the negative out of the way because I don't have a lot of. I actually do have some negative comments. They're not negative. It's not negative. I just saw the ending and the reveal like coming.
Okay.
Early on in the book, and I spent the whole time like thinking, okay, like when is she gonna realize?
So
when is she,
this is why I'm asking for spoilers.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta just say what it is that you saw coming.
Fine.
Yeah.
So, and I forget her name. Oh my gosh, I forget her name. The main character. Her name.
I'm gonna try to remember. Okay, is it Liv? No, it's not. That's a different book.
That is
Muddied.
Yeah.
It's not Libby. This is the book I'm reading right now. Oh my god.
It's all right. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna spoil it. So spoiler alert. So yeah, I saw the ending coming in that Dominique was in fact a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And the haunting in the Arctic was her. I don't mean that in a bad way. I saw, like, it's the more that you read a certain author, and I'm having this thing with Jewel as well, like the last book that I read, like that we are going to cover, so I won't talk about it. Like, I saw all of it coming. And it's really frustrating. Like, I want to be surprised. I want to be shocked. I want to be... So you're right. Like, the way she... I still love her writing. She's still a great writer. I loved reading it. Yeah. It was a really, truly great book. I loved it. But I don't like when I just know the ending. Like, don't give me spoilers. Don't give me hints. Don't sprinkle the breadcrumbs.
You're supposed to know.
But I don't want to know. I know, but I don't want to know.
I don't think it's about... I don't think the big reveal was about the fact that she is a ghost. Yeah. I think the big reveal is about the fact that the entire, like, she's trapped these other ghosts.
Yeah. And she doesn't know that she's a ghost.
Hell. Yeah. I think that was the big, for me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Like, yeah, you're fair. That's fair. Okay.
And in that, I thought she was doing something really new and complex. That's when I started liking the book. That was the redeeming element of it.
And I feel like that was like the similar thing with the witches, though, right? She thinks of these like cool, interesting twists. It's that like, it's like a twist on a twist, right?
Yeah. So, just building off of what you're saying, there were moments during this process of reading this book that I was just bored. Yeah. But I don't think because the book is boring, right? I think this is 100% more to do with me and subjective reading experience than to do with the book. Because I do think that from start to finish, you plowed through the book.
I did.
Actually, remember you saying that you liked it quite a bit.
I did.
But I do remember that I started this and I just was in the headspace and I've been in a bit of a reading slump, and that's been my experience. So, but as the more I listened, obviously, when I got to the climax and just the actual reveal, which I would say is this play on time and this play on the notion of hell. I think that's really smart.
Yeah,
you know,
she's a very smart writer.
Yeah, I think that's really clever. Smart, and the way that we can be so just consumed by a vengeance or taking revenge or hate that we actually cause. You know, we cause ourselves to suffer, right? Like we trap ourselves, and I think that that's really important. It's an important lesson to take from this book.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think that it goes even further in that it hold on. Yeah, so we get like so trapped in our own baggage, which is what like she really did, right? Like so Dom was the ghost that was haunting the ship, but like she was really not. Like it was Nikki, the girl from the ship way like centuries ago. It's been a long time, but she was just so caught in her own baggage that she really couldn't escape. She just involved everyone around her in her own doom, or as you put it, hell, to make everyone's life miserable, because that was her purpose. It was to make her, feel better. She forgot. It's like she had amnesia. She was like literally going. She was so focused on the like document. What?
I just thought of an idea. Keep talking.
Oh, sorry. She was so focused on herself and her goals that she just like the trauma of her past, like she just like the trauma of her past and the things that she went through, like literally clean the slate.
Oh my God. I changed my rating. It's a 4.5. I changed my rating because I'm like, Oh my God, this book is really good, actually.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking? That old age hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, and do you know what it made me just think about right now? And that's why I did a scan of your bookshelf. It made me think about Alice Sebold.
Yeah.
Do you remember the story I told you the other day of how she was violently essayed and the process of being consumed with this desire of finding her
consumed. What a great word.
Absolutely. Finding her perpetrator.
Yeah, that's a
she
great word.
facilitates in the locking up of an innocent black man, which was on the part of the cops racially motivated. It was a racist system that she participated in. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, holy hell. Obviously, we're not talking about race in this book.
Yes.
But I'm drawing these parallels.
We're talking about the consumption.
We're talking about just this
being so consumed with your trauma.
Yes.
And it just like
how trauma can be all consuming. Yeah. And the need for vengeance. Oh my God. And now my brain is just, I'm firing synapses.
And my background story of what I told you about this author, kind of makes sense.
Right.
And I mean, it's not like it's a secret. Like she publicizes like that her trauma is fueling these books.
Right.
So it makes sense. But it's brilliant.
Well,
right? Like
she's
it's
creating.
like embedded. It's embedded. The trauma is embedded in all of her stories, and you really have to look deep to understand.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I'm just because like it's like maybe I was asleep when I was reading this because I'm like, wait, talking about it right now, I can see.
So see, that's where like this whole thing of listening comes in. Right? Like I know you read and you listened. I did the same thing too. Like I listened and I read and I listened and I read.
Yeah.
And some books you can read passively and others you can't. And if you listen to it on, I don't know how fast. I know you listen to books on really fast speed.
1.5 speed. 1.2 to 1.5. It destroys the experience even further. I know.
It does. It does. Know. Some books deserve to be that quick. Other books, you really need to slow it down.
You do.
And you need to just absorb what they're saying. And
I mean, I could give a bunch of excuses why I do that.
Oh, you don't have to make excuses.
No,
I'm not asking you to make excuses.
No, I know that.
I'm just saying that might be why, when you're listening to a book versus reading a book.
Yeah.
When you're listening to it, you have to take a step back and really process what you just listened to.
There's also something to be said about talking about a book, right? And just going through that process of unraveling that brings up different themes and understandings and where you can see things in a bit differently. This is why it's really important to take a step away from a book. To step back from a book and think about what it is that you just read. I'm just thinking as somebody who, I think a lot about vigilantism.
Okay.
And, I mean, like, even you may have experiences where you've seen harm committed against somebody that you have been so angry at the perpetrator that, you are just like, the observer wishes that harm comes to the perpetrator. I'm just thinking about that. And I'm thinking about how throughout this reading experience, when Dominique is given the option to either move on by the sea, she's given the option to move on or to seek vengeance. I don't want to swear, but what was your response? Because mine was seek vengeance.
Oh,
seek vengeance, girl.
Like, seek peace.
Excuse me?
Like, you have been living in this state of vengeance and unrest for so long.
That is as a ghost. I'm talking about the moment when they're killing her. They put her in the cage and they put her into water. And then the sea gives her the option. What do you want your future to look like? And she says, oh, that's easy. I'm seeking vengeance. Yeah. Were you not in agreement with her, in alignment with her throughout the whole thing?
I don't know. Yes. I mean, I don't think she knew the scope, though.
None of us did.
Right? None of us do.
Right.
When you seek vengeance,
Absolutely.
you don't really know the
Absolutely.
scope.
Yeah.
Um, you know what though? Like, I'm just even thinking about myself, and when I'm driving and I get road rage
There you
and
go.
I seek vengeance,
Yeah.
and I'm like
You seek vengeance.
and in the moment, I'm like, this is the right thing to do. And then I think about it,
love
especially if my kids are in the car, and I'm like, this is not the right thing to do. I need to seek peace. I need to wish them the best. And I just used the road rage example because in the moment it feels so good to fulfill that desire of wanting to get even. But you spend a lifetime consumed by it.
Absolutely consumed.
And like, I know it's like, so when I don't get upset at something on the road, I'm like at peace. And I'm like, should I have gotten upset? Or I'm just like, you know, like, or I'll, you know, that's like, if someone gets mad at me and like, I get given fingers too. And I'm just like, have a nice day. Or people get mad at me, I'm like, God bless you, have a blessed day. Because seriously, I do it because it's makes me feel so much more at peace. Because if not, I just get consumed by this anger and this vengeance and this like, it's not worth it. And I think like, I'm bringing this up because it goes back to that's what you just asked me. In the heat of the moment, Nikki would choose that. But she spent a lifetime, eons of time paying for it. To what end? Like nothing. Like she didn't get any vengeance. Like what? She just...
I don't know if she spent time paying for it though.
How?
Because it seemed like, I think what happened was she was in that anger and rage, but at some point there was a turn and she stopped feeling so angry. So her appearance changed. She morphed into herself.
Yeah. But like, doesn't that show you what the consuming behavior,
You let go of the rage eventually.
And you forget who you are.
You forget what you're angry about. Yeah, and more importantly, how it is that we trap the ones we love in this hell of our own making, which, you know, is partly her own making, partly not. But, you know, how this rage is all consuming, that it traps not just us, but other people in it.
It's funny that we are bringing these, I don't know if is that a theme or is it just a topic?
Yeah.
We're bringing this to light because even though it's about a haunted ship in the Arctic, in the middle of nowhere, it's so still relatable.
Oh God, I have to give her some credit. I think, no. From this, I have to read another book because clearly I was sleeping. Do you understand? I mean, clearly I was not with it. This entirely eluded me the whole time. I mean, I did think one thing I really like about this is the fact that she's created this hell and she doesn't realize it. That was always my favorite piece. But it's through this process of just, breaking down and analyzing this book that's really coming to life. And now I feel like I have to go and read the book again with this, new, fresh insight. Yeah, and it makes me think, it actually makes me think about the genre she dabbles in and works with in such a different light.
She just takes it to another level.
Yeah.
I think I need to read one more Gothic author to really, but I believe you. I think that she's taking that. It's deep.
I do think, for me, this is the best. The more I read about it, the less I think it's about the supernatural.
Yes.
It's a commentary on something that's so much more important than that.
Correct. You know what I mean? Correct.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you say that because I think that is the underlying, she'd actually really be someone that I would like to talk to because it'd be I really think you've hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
In that she's writing these books that are on the surface, like if you think of an umbrella, like the top of the umbrella,
Yes.
you know, this gothic or thriller-esque,
Yeah.
but then you filter down in the umbrella and
course.
it's just so deep,
So layered.
so layered. Actually, not
Yes.
even an umbrella, an iceberg.
Yes.
Right? Like it's really the tip of the iceberg,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But yeah.
But again, we did, yes, I remember our conversation about witches. We talked a lot about the feminist element, and even the more I think about it, the less I feel like it was as revealing. You know, all of
this one's more about like. Sorry,
no, that's okay. All of what I've been talking about, what makes a good book, what makes a good writer, and how it's just really how well they are about revealing the human experience in the writing. Okay, so do you remember, like in our last conversation, you said to me, and I know what you said because I listened to that podcast 3 times. I liked it a lot.
You're so sweet.
And you said, so it's about the characters for you, and I was like, it's about the characters for everybody.
It's not.
This book is not about the character.
It's not.
It's not about the character.
Because you literally started this podcast saying she's very plot driven.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. This book is entirely plot driven.
Yes.
But yet, through a plot driven book, we get at something that's integral and universal.
We really learn about the character.
Not just the character, but like so identifiable.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's about the character. I guess you're right. It is about the character. But it is plot driven though, right? Like in a way that like character driven stories get at this. Like
she's weaving the plot in a way that we knit together.
Yes.
The character.
Absolutely. Love it. I love it. I changed my rating and my rating is now 4.8.
Wow.
For A Haunting in the Arctic.
Wow.
Yeah. We went from 4 to 4.
Maybe we should do ratings at the end.
I know.
Like, unless it's like a clear cut. All right. I think that's it. Okay.
Bye.